Erica Lorraine Spencer here. This is the P.O.C. pattern of conduct, the ongoing real-time documentation of what is the criminal pattern of conduct of federal stalking in violation of 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsection 1 and subsection 2. This is the pattern of conduct underway by a public entity, that is the state of California, that is engaging in federal stalking in concert with the people of the state of California. So this is group conduct. And this is the practicing of what are the criminal elements of monitoring amongst what is the demon possessed. And so this is what is documentation of terrorism as it is underway by a public entity in concert with the people of the state who are in the shoes of the government as this criminal system is in ceaseless operation. And as the state engages in this demented group conduct, this is revealing how the public entity, that is the state of California, that is in the United States of America, how terrorism of an American citizen plays out, what that looks like, how that is facilitated amongst a people, amongst a government, how it is public corruption in plain sight, and not only that, how you formulate policy and how you prosecute that which is demonic conduct, it's demonic activity, but that which is in no way impervious to prosecution in federal court, and being subject to ratification into federal policy. This is the P.O.C. All right, it's currently 7:24 a.m. I want to document what is a method of molestation by national construction. Let me read this demon's license plate. Oh, they're going into McCarthy, trying to hide their license plate. Monitoring with Tracy, who's loitering in a relevant position. And Innovage, who's also creating light activity at the 280 North Lemon Apartments. It is, like I said, it's 7:25 a.m. So you have what is national construction that is creating light activity using a tow truck at the Ontario Town Square townhomes in the parking lot area. And so while that truck is parked there as Tracy Banks, license 4WON 432, understand that there is no form, there's nothing that third parties are doing that is other than understanding what is the malicious engagement by demon possessed who are surrounding with at all times and intentionally positioning themselves while doing so with light, okay, day and night. And so you have what is the presence of this commercial vehicle, national construction, and its position. So she drives in front of it, and that is resulting in what is aimed direct inside, which is a molestation with headlights by national construction and Tracy Banks and Innovage. They're lining the path right here at the library as I request for her to drop me off at the library area. Innovage is spelled INNOVAGE. This is a third party. This is engagement in the creation of light activity. The state is stalking. The state is maintaining presence, by the way, through such stalkers that are the people of the state that use their commercial means, their brands, if you will, to engage in the ongoing maintenance of criminal elements. They are demons that are working for a company, in other words, and they are exposing those companies to prosecution because the state system is in operation through them. All right. It is 7:26 a.m. All right, I showed you what is stalking in the path with light. I'm going to get the license plate. This is a commercial actor loitering at what is third-party facilitating venue, the 280 North Lemon Apartments, referred to as the Ontario Senior Housing Charter. Understand this is the same apartment building where the state places this fake sun when I'm at this venue. So you are understanding what is the maintenance of that ongoing conduct, and it is also perpetuated by another demon, a different face, the same conduct of stalking with light. Innovage's license plate 31687E2. That's called relevant positioning, loitering in relevant position. And you have also what is light activity. Okay, that's P.O.C. And the light activity I will show you. All right, this is light activity. You see they are in a line on what is lemon in relevant position to me. They're monitoring together. And this is national construction that was positioned such that its headlights would aim inside of Tracy Banks' car as she drives through. This is a predator that is waiting to touch. It's not different, all right? And you're also understanding, I showed you this. Let me get this license plate real quick and I'm gonna break something down for you. License 26637L2. And that demon uses the truck, the exhaust of the truck, just like Omnitrans uses the bus, to stalk with audible activity as I use my camera. National Construction Rentals, that is U.S.5921142, California 0058659. The position of the truck is now facing on the street. Headlights are forward. This is creating a circuit of light in relevant position in concert with INHUMANE, who also has their hazards on. This is the maintenance of light. These are demons who are doing so, and they are doing it through commercial means. This is stalking with the state, okay? It's vicarious conduct on behalf of the government that is stalking with these same elements, all right? And that demon is also engaging in the pattern of what is stalking with audible activity. As I use a different function on my phone, that is the camera, you have what is the use of the sound of the exhaust on the truck, all right? Just a loud, like a like, I guess you would describe that as an exhauster. It's audible activity. It's with simultaneity. It is within the demonic behavioral pattern. And nonetheless, you are looking at what is relevant positioning and light activity. And this is demons that are doing that. This is terrorism as you are understanding what the state is doing through the people. All right. That is terrorism as they stalk together, first of all, as they are stalking with light and as they stalk with audible activity. And then it is also understand what the demon-possessed, the third parties do. It is terrorism while this state system is underway, and what are demon-possessed stalkers who are following, engaging in, literally, not just following you physically, following you audibly and following you around with light, engaging in surveillance, all right? You have what is the outward conduct. For example, the sex offender in the bathroom is present, stalking you, is engaging in audible activity creation, an operation of a communication device in an environment deliberately maintained. There is no question about the directed light, the fake sun. I've shown you the light activity at the venue. And then they'll engage in that P.O.C. and disregard you while they are stalking you. That's terrorism. There is no passive-aggressive stalking. I've shown you what is the P.O.C. The state does not have any form anymore. It's outright terrorism while the entity engages in targeting an American citizen. That is terrorism through, again, national construction and INHUMANE. All right, it is currently 7:31 a.m. This is P.O.C. That is third-party facilitating venue where P.O.C. is underway. Ontario Town Square, or state facilitating venue rather. It's I believe a venue of the city. And third-party facilitating venue, the Ontario Senior Housing Partner at 280 North Lemon. That's how you identify not only third parties and or state actors and where they're engaging in the P.O.C. And you can document the third party that is being monitored by government is going to be able to use whatever they have at their disposal in order to prosecute the government and document and identify whoever and whatever it is that is used as a means to stalk them with the maintenance of such elements, all right, which is terrorism. All right, national construction then is maintaining presence by being right in front of the same area in relevant position. And I took a picture of that male. He's sitting in his vehicle, operating a communication device while creating that light activity, which are hazards on that commercial brand. All right, and that focus is where I'm located. It's called relevant position. Alrighty, and it is currently 7:32 p.m. McCarthy is also in relevant position. A third-party group stalker enters into the venue, monitoring with Tracy Banks, who's loitering in front at the turn circle, monitoring with INHUMANE and National Construction, and they run inside to avoid being documented. Those demons know they're being documented. Let's see. So understand I'm documenting McCarthy because they are monitoring with that ongoing light activity created by National Construction. You have a demon that's maintaining presence on the side of the library. This is the stalkers I've shown you, monitoring together. See. I'm just trying to see something real quick before I conclude my... Yeah, this is McCarthy in relevant position, and it is facilitating light activity while National Construction is loitering at the turn circle area, which is very precise to where I'm at. It's intentional conduct, just like directed light is, all right? Just like a fake sun is. And where you have a pattern of stalking with light, you're understanding how that same stalking with light is ongoing through the people. That's what that's what National Construction is engaged in, license 62482K2, while the state is hovering in a plane here at Clarendon. No rainy day, all right? No clouds in the sky is stopping the pattern of conduct operated by a state. That's P.O.C. And you're also going to pay attention the state engages in this conduct of audible activity creation, arriving, hovering over me with planes, as I'm documenting the demons of the state of California that are monitoring with this demon-possessed government. All right, what the state does is based on me, what I'm doing as I'm doing it. They're demons. They are inherently inferior creatures. They're literally following me. Literally, they're stalkers. but you're also talking about what are inherently inferior creatures by virtue of their conduct. It's based on everything I'm doing. All right, and the significance of that is because it's criminal and it comes with a government, so you prosecute that as terrorism. All right, these inferior creatures are going to catch a federal prosecution. It's currently 7:34 a.m. That was the sounding of plane engines, and I just wanted to read one license plate. They're monitoring with National Construction, and I can't see any more license plates. But McCarthy, I documented their license plates. You know exactly who they are. And the company is also readily known, identifiable. So I want to document that. It's currently 7:35 a.m. and I am now at the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library area. And this is P.O.C. documenting the methods of terrorism and stalking by the people of the state acting in concert and on behalf of the government. It is, by the way, Tuesday, December 14th, 2021. I want to let you hear the plane engines real quick. A group stalker is crossing path in a PT Cruiser, slows down, thinks about it. They're listening to every syllable I say. State's flying right over the 280 North limit, okay? That's P.O.C. And not only does the state engage in what is just playing a tape, it's pursuant to the same demonic behavior pattern. So as I stopped my podcast and I immediately restarted sitting here. That is hovering conduct that's not taking off from the airport. All right, and it's what I've shown you visibly when they are indeed hovering over a senior apartment complex while I'm at the library, while the state's fake sun is hovering over a senior apartment complex, hovering over any building, which is not the sun. And by the way, doing so at the same time when I'm in the city of Ontario at this very venue. That's what you saw at the Fontana Police Department, okay? Not only have I shown conflicting times, you're talking about, oh, are you over the 280 North Limit Apartments at before and after 10 a.m. or is this supposed to be the sun, or is it over in the city of Fontana now at 10 a.m., which is mutually exclusive? That's not the sun. That is also maintaining central presence over my head. And what also are you paying attention to? The directed light, that which is not sunlight, that is coexisting as well. What is also not coincidental to these incredible phenomenons that I'm documenting, which is revealing a demonic and targeting system accomplishing a criminal purpose, which is monitoring an American citizen while you are stalking heavily in concert with every single person that are the people of the state. Not only is this revealing what is demonic methods of doing so, which is terrorism, you are also noticing what is the absence of coincidence under such incredible circumstances. That is the state engaging in stalking in commercial airline planes, because that's exactly what it is. That's stalking. Engaging in the pattern of hovering in airline planes. You don't have the form anymore, and a third party, a demon-possessed stalker's supposition, oh, well, there's an airport in Ontario, does not mean planes are taking off, and that's necessarily, what are you doing? Why are you hovering over apartment buildings if you're not taking off? You're engaging in the maintenance of what is ordinary conduct, right? And you're not appearing as though you're engaging in targeting any specific area, so why are you hovering in airplanes? Not only just hovering, where that is not commensurate with taking off from the airport whatsoever, that may or may not even be in a city that has an airport. You're talking about in all manner of direction, at all times, 24 hours a day, with simultaneity to what I do, all right, occurring in concert with what is the placement of a natural environment, a fake sun, which is affirmatively established, and what is not sunlight, while demons surround, engaging in absolutely demented conduct of stalking with noise. And that's what the demons of McCarthy are doing. They're not engaging in ordinary construction. Those are demons that know that I'm present, and their maintenance of audible activity, and they also use that same outward form of a demon engaging in what's supposed to be focusing on construction as a means of stalking with audible activity, which is terrorism as you documented. All right. Anyway, like I said, it's 7:38 a.m. and that is the understanding of what was the state stalking via aircraft, just like I'm documenting what national construction is engaging in, creating light activity while the state hovers in a commercial airline plane. That's what I took a picture of. That appears to be a Latino male in operation of communication device as well, okay, monitoring. And what I said I was going to break down real quick is the picture that I'm showing you of what is headlights, right? You're seeing the headlights on, the hazard lights on, and I've shown this at Country Village. I showed you while I was standing on the property of Country Village in Jurupa Valley, that is Riverside County, where the P.O.C. was underway in a different county at a location where I had not been, at what is also the P.O.C. operating in a professional setting, meaning I'm exposed to the P.O.C., and that's going to be the application of federal law, and which is relevant to what are intersecting laws with regard to the government monitoring and stalking, terrorizing you, which is a whole other level of a hostile workplace while you're on the job, okay? Being surrounded by that conduct. And that's what I was exposed to in Jurupa Valley. And I showed while I was standing outside on the property, and it was a rainy day, okay? And you saw what were the traffic lights. I specifically published a video because I was showing you what our methods of directed light. And the state is creating directed light on the road. And you see as the demons are crossing path on the street, it is an otherwise unsuspecting sight, all right? Unless you're paying attention, all right? And so you see what is directed light that's supposed to be coming from the red stoplights, but it's reaching down into the driveway of the property. And you can see the light activity created while the demons are driving on the street in their car where the street light is, all right? And it's reaching onto the property of the Country Village Apartments. That's not street lights. 86380C2 touching United Site Services, and they're doing so for purposes of the same maintenance of elements. And that demon that's touching in a commercial vehicle goes into the site of McCarthy. That's McCarthy touching, that's McCarthy stalking. They're monitoring together. And also pay attention to the timing they do so while I'm recalling what is a criminal conduct of national construction. There is no form, and it is a method of directed light, like I showed. So anyway, back to what is the method of directed light. And so remember, this is March of 2021 when I published this, and it's also on the specific playlist on YouTube that is revealing the methods of directed light. The entity is stalking and molesting with directed light, which is engineered light. All right, sunlight does not do what directed light does. Sunlight is not present where a fake sun is either, and sunlight does not engage in what is the conduct that I've shown you when you pay attention to the details and understand. Demonic conduct is relying on the absent-minded who are being targeted by the state, and you don't even know it. All right, so you're paying attention to the details upon being aware that the government is stalking. Okay, the government is monitoring you. So anyway, what I showed is you've got the street lights, the turn traffic signal lights on the street. And you've got what are lines, which you would otherwise suppose, oh, I guess that's the light from the traffic light. It's red, and then it turns green, and then it turns yellow. But that light is streaming onto the driveway across the street into the depths of the property in alignment with me. And not only that, while demons are driving on the street, okay, you have what is that light appearing and disappearing. Traffic lights are not creating beams of light whereby you are creating light activity on the ground. That's the same method of light activity creation, which is coinciding with the stalking presence, all right? Facilitating activity creation, making it dynamic while it's absolutely unnatural as well, while the demon possessed are maliciously present, stalking and monitoring, all right? And that's what national construction is engaged in. And so I took a picture, and you're looking at what is directed light that's on the ground coming forward, all right? That's not headlights. It's the same methods employed over and over and over again. And I want to make sure I point that out as well. Where the entity is stalking with a fake sun, so let me give you this. Where you have broken ground and revealed that a government, because that's what California is doing, the government in the state of California is stalking with an entire environment. This is a demon-possessed entity. All right, those in positions of the government are in positions that they have no business being in, stalking American citizens in helicopter, stalking American citizens via law enforcement, stalking American citizens also in what are government planes, and also in third-party commercial airline planes. And you have what is the maintenance of what is a literal fake sun. This is entirely out of the pit of hell, revealing the condition of the government itself that's operating this system, stalking American citizens, monitoring American citizens, a violation of Title 18. Okay, Section 2261A, subsection 1 and 2. And so you have what is, where you are establishing that, which I have, where you have broken ground and you're understanding this, there is, in other words, after that, you are recognizing all the ways in which that same conduct is being continued. That does not stop. All right. That's a whole system. OK, and you're talking about what I'm documenting when you're listening to the audible activity, for example, of Tracy Banks after I'm showing her under the fake sun while she is silent, sitting in the car, focusing on her communication device in relevant position while directed light is shooting all over the place. This is a demon. This is an entire psychopath that I'm dealing with. OK, an entire psychopath. And you just listen to that audible activity. That system doesn't stop. All right, so the state's not stopping stalking with light, because that's what that is, stalking with a fake sun, doing it on an astronomical scale, that which is entirely threatening to the life. While the government's going to that extent, you are that central and core to every demon that's around you, because that's what's wrong with them. They're stalking with light, they're demons. They're stalking with light, they're demons engaging in criminal activity, i.e. terrorism. All right, they're demons that are engaging in stalking with light in concert with the government. That's terrorism. And that's in violation of existing federal law and that which shall be enforced. Understanding what terrorism is, it's that which the government is operating where it is a demon-possessed entity, a government that is entirely diseased and infected. All right, it's out of work, it's out of service. All right, it's no longer valid. That's what I'm revealing. Public corruption. all right? And it's criminal conduct that is being engaged in by not only the government, it's facilitated and done in concert with the people of the state. And this is a government that is sick. These are a people that are sick with demon possession, not insane, not that they don't know, no, they're engaging in and the pattern of conduct establishes an ongoing determination, which is criminal, to continue to engage in this obsessive stalking activity of one person, which is terrorism, while you're of that condition, while you represent that entity, while you are acting as an entity, all right, while you're engaging in criminal conduct, all right, and then all of the sexual violence and understanding what is the natural malice and natural, that's a oxymoron, if you will, but you're talking about demons, and so you're talking about malice, which is inherent, all right, to those who are of that condition. And you're not going to get the truth out of the lying face of a demon, and that's what I'm revealing. You're not just dealing with criminals. Understand the policy and the government, the people of the state, where this pattern of conduct is underway. You are understanding you are dealing with the demon possessed. All right, the police officer that is smiling in your face, hey, yeah, my position, yeah, I'm the captain, that's a demon, okay? Relying on that outward form, hiding behind that badge and that position that they have no business being in. They're a psychopath to be snatched out of that position while they're engaging in an ongoing monitoring of an American citizen. The pattern of conduct, the objective documentation, revealing that is what supersedes. It's an entirely malicious system through and through. All right, and I want to document at Ontario Town Square, the state maintaining flashing light, direct light in the same way that National Construction is. The entity is constantly monitoring. Demons are patrolling on through, that's going to be documentation of Wells Fargo. They're patrolling onto C Street, and the state is amplifying plane activity. Okay, it is currently 7:46 a.m. This demon, while the state flies over by a plane, is 5XFW914 P.O.C. That's a white male going into McCarthy, who is monitoring. All right, McCarthy doesn't have any form. They've been documented in their sex offenders. City of Ontario is in the parking lot of Metro 102 while the state is hovering over the 280 North Lemon Apartments, sounding what is plane activity that's not coming from any airport, which you would not hear. That's the same hovering conduct that I show you while they are hiding under what is the covering up the sky. It's the same stalking with light. City of Ontario on the opposite side of the turn circle. All right, you have what is hovering with planes, audible activity, and the molesters that run into the gates where McCarthy is situated. Stalking with light, monitoring. These are demons that are at a construction site focused on me. All right, a whole bunch of men engaging in surveillance. And what they are doing is the outward form. They are, understand their condition and the reality of what this is and what I've revealed. They are inherently inferior creatures. These are demons. You're not dealing with normal people. They're demon possessed. That condition is superseding. Understand their intent, the malice, all of that, which you are understanding when you are revealing the condition. Those are demons that are focused on me, engaging in predatory conduct, touching how they can, wherever they can, when they can, all right, based on what I'm doing, all right, determined to do so, and acting in concert with what is, you hear is the audible activity of a plane over a senior center apartment. All right, it's very concerted as you're listening to me recite it. That's the sex offender that is McCarthy. All right, that is the conduct of the people of the state. All right, that's demonic activity as McCarthy is engaging in it, and you're going to prosecute companies engaging in what is terrorism in concert with the state. Those are all demons wearing hard hats, and that's why I read all of their license plates. They're going to be prosecuted for that. And you're also what is the impermissible threat as they are monitoring the documentation and engaging in the ongoing perpetration of that federal stalking conduct, sexually violent touching while you're stalking and monitoring in concert with the state. All right, that's hovering around me in planes, all right, and amplifying audible activity, which you're not going to hear, but for hovering in a plane. But I'm breaking down actually what the state does, just playing a tape of the sound of planes everywhere that I go, regardless of the elevation of that plane. All right, but the state also engages in hovering, stalking in commercial airline planes. That's why it's flying right here and not over the B&G Plaza, all right, where I'm there in the morning. Okay, like I said, it is currently 7:48 a.m. and that third party goes into what is the venue attributed to McCarthy, who are in relevant position monitoring. All right, that's P.O.C. It's 7:48 a.m. 7:51 a.m. That which I've already shown. First of all, you have what is construction by McCarthy. That's on a microphone. All right, using a hammer is not going to be something that is heard throughout the entirety of the plaza over here. That's amplification, first of all. Second of all, you have what is the ongoing maintenance of audible activity, flying over, patrolling, in other words. That's demonic, and using the method of airplane activity while the demons that are the people of the state crossing path in their cars at the turn circle, they're stalking, focused on where I am. with their presence, focused on where I am with amplified audible activity, and patrolling on the ground and patrolling in the airspace where I am. That is hovering activity, and this is what the state is engaging in on an ongoing basis. The state is, in this regard as well, revealing its stalking pattern and its obsessed concern with where I am, which is ongoing documentation of terrorism. It's 7:53 a.m. That is the ongoing maintenance of noise by McCarthy. It's on a microphone. It's echoic. It is traveling. I'm sitting on the side of the Ovid Family Community Library where the state is also patrolling by airplanes. Okay, it is 7:55 a.m. That's going to McCarthy. That's the people of the state. All right, stalking together. Demons stalking with noise, and the entity stalking physically and stalking with light. Okay, 7:55 a.m. All right, that is the stalker, the people of the state via aircraft, stalking, flying over. And I'm taking pictures of what are the people who are surrounding in relevant positions. So you have what is this white man who is loitering around, engaged in surveillance. So this is the people engaging in surveillance using just standing around, pedestrians. This is what they're doing when I'm at the bus stop. These are demons that are surrounding, manning the path, engaging in literally stalking one person altogether. All right, this is surveillance. And with simultaneity to this white man who's in the red shirt, who then I also take a picture, enters into the Page One Cafe, which is the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library. You have what is the state simultaneous conduct, just like I'm documenting McCarthy, a demon that crosses path at the turn circle, simultaneity with which the state is also targeting with audible activity and physically while hovering over the location where I'm at. The simultaneous conduct, which is demonic, and it is also achieving what is monitoring with communication devices. You have what is this third party, this white man that walks by me underneath the covered area. And this is occurring as I have been sitting for a prolonged period, so I stand up. All right, I'm engaging in a new activity. And then you have what is the simultaneous conduct. This is a stalker. This is a demon-possessed stalker. All right, so you're understanding what is the elements that are underway. And demons engage in not only the identical conduct, but what they do based on when I do whatever it is that I'm doing. They're demons. They are literal, hollow, walking around, living dead, and you think they're natural because you're looking at flesh and blood. You're looking at what is a demon holding a baby, or looking like they're focused on a construction site, wearing hard hats, walking around like normal human beings, and they're not. And I'm speaking to what is the identical behavioral pattern amongst the demon possessed who are stalking together. And I'm taking a picture of also what is relevant positioning. So this is what this white man does, and he enters into the Page One Cafe, and that's what I take a picture of. You see the door opening. He knows that I'm taking pictures of him as he walks by. He walks by me at the same time that the state hovers by airplane. You have what is the third party that's at the senior center, loitering in relevant position, and operation of a communication device, and maintaining what is presence also in relevant position, engaged in surveillance, monitoring. All right, you have what is the third party that are now, as I'm taking pictures of them, you have what are the demons that are just frequenting, they're patrolling, walking back and forth and making their presence more known, as though they are not stalking. They're stalking, period, and they know that I'm documenting the fact that they're stalkers. And so you have what is the conduct. I'll let you know what is the mindset of the demon possessed, who are shown to be the stalkers that they are, identified as third parties. You have what is now conspicuous presence all around. All right, walking around and walking past, which is patrolling as one group, the demon possessed who are monitoring while you're hearing the audible activity. This is what begins as I start taking pictures of that. Okay, so it is currently 9:21 a.m. and this is terrorism by the demon possessed entity. This is going to the prosecution. There is no ordinary presence or idle presence. You're listening to what is the state that's sounding audible activity, while literal psychopaths, the same ones who chase you into the bathroom, who maintain corporate knowledge of when your panties are up and down, and what you're doing while your panties are up and or down, and also engaging in what is the obsessive and sexually motivated conduct of wanting to be near you and follow you into such a private space while you don't even have a communication device in hand. All right, understand these elements, this demonic activity is achieving monitoring. All right, it is also that which is literal, just ritualistic stalking by the demon possessed. They are inferior creatures. They are obsessed and following around and monitoring one who is not of that. I'm not demon possessed, and that's what you have. What is an absolute stranger who is familiar with regard to their demon possession. That's how they're familiar. All right, and you're talking about what is stalking as you are witnessing it in the natural, and it is prosecuted as what is public corruption because they're present on behalf of the state, and that's the terrorism. All right, they are present on behalf of the group. So you have what is literally an army of demons who are standing around, not talking to you, stalking you, maintaining presence all around you, and doing so while not addressing you. All right, that's absolutely demented group conduct, which is what the people of the state are engaging in. This is that system in operation. All right, while you have the state again following with an entire environment, the state hovering over 280 North Lemon Apartments is the maintenance of an environment. The state amplifying audible activity, the entity stalking with light is the maintenance of an environment. These demons themselves patrolling all around and standing all around you, regardless of the fact that they are inferior, obsessed, and demented with regard to they're keeping their back to you while they're stalking you and listening to your every move, stalking with the maintenance of noise, and their arrival visibly in front of you is terrorism. All right. It is currently 9:23 a.m. This is P.O.C. At the side of the Ovid Family Community Library. All right. It is 9:26 a.m. The white man that was maintaining surveilling presence at the senior center comes over to this hallway. All right, and this one that is loitering in relevant position engaged in surveillance right next to me is the same one that was monitoring with the Ontario police with the dog. All right, harassing inside of the library. He placed his hand in front of my camera while he was stalking me in the library on the first level. This is the same one engaged in surveillance. You have another one with the communication devices, laptop, stalking in the path, and they all come they all come out conspicuously as these demons who are monitoring and stalking know that I begin taking pictures, okay? That is also terrorism as well. It is 9:27 a.m. and that's a state sounding plane activity, P.O.C. Seconds later, 9:28 a.m. This is audible activity over the same 280 North Lemon Apartments, concentrating that stalking conduct, not flying over B&G Plaza like I show you in video when I'm there, all right? Not flying over 630 North Fern like I let you listen to and I show you in pictures and video when I'm there. This is concentrated right here where I'm at which is on the side of the Ovid Family Community Library, where the third parties who are demon possessed are stalking in concert with that entity. It's just seconds later. It's currently 9:29 a.m. now. P.O.C. License plate 49887H2, that's 7 Henry 2, at 280 North Lemon Apartments, stalking with activity, and that is arriving. And this is what the entity does that's engaged in surveillance. They arrive, they're already present, stalking. All right, maintaining presence. It's almost like if you imagine the game of jumping rope, where you're standing outside, the people you're playing with, they're spinning the rope, and you're already there, right? And you're just waiting for the perfect time to jump in. That's what they're doing while the entity is just driving around, walking around, maintaining presence, cooperatively acting to create activity with simultaneity to what they are all together mutually watching and honing in, like hovering over at my every move, okay? So that license plate is a third party facilitating venue, 280 North Lemon Apartments, a facilitating venue. That's why the state places a fake sun over that venue. Those elderly actors are referred to as demon-possessed third parties at a facilitating venue, and their age is no preclusion whatsoever to prosecution for terrorism and facilitating terrorism. They're malicious actors, and let me be clear, let me tell you something with regard to demon possession, and let me let you know by experience, the demon-possessed are even more malicious the older they are, okay? Don't be deceived by it. There is no compassionate, oh no, this is Satan in operation. And by the way, the state keeping its fake sun is the direct indication of that. I'm just giving you context, having been exposed to what is malicious actors, and they're demons that have been following me around for an entirety of a day, unbeknownst to it, because I'm dealing with people in the natural, right? All right, but understanding the condition of all of those who are around me, and they're all stalkers. They're all inferior, obsessed, and consumed with me, okay? And so I want to be clear, that third-party license plate at third-party facilitating venue, 280 North Lemon Apartments, which is the aiming of headlights in this direction. I also took an image, first of all, earlier, as I walked from the side of the Ovid Family Community Library to the entrance area, and the Ovid Family Community Library, that is not open yet, all right? And it's still not open. It's 9:59 a.m. This is the large, heavy-set white male who engages in a lot of loud utterances inside of the venue. He's doing so intentionally. It's not a matter of mental capacity. This is a demon in engineered light, and he is stalking with activity. As I walk to the entrance area and he exits out of the front of the library, he is stalking with activity and doing so. All right, so I want to document that. That's why I took a picture of it. Going outside of the entrance area is a means of maintaining crossing a path, and doing so as I walk to the entrance area. That's the P.O.C. And another third party with knowledge of the fact that I observed the license plate of the third party. You have another one that just drives by. And I'm speaking to why is that relevant? Okay, because I focused on the license plate that I got. The entity that is engaging in P.O.C, I'm revealing the character. I'm not only prosecuting, I'm revealing the character, because that's going to the ways in which I'm going to prosecute all of them, the entity. This is demonic. So you have what is another third party that crosses paths with knowledge of the fact that I just observed it. All right, I look at the license plate, I say it out loud, I'm about to document on my podcast. They're all stalkers. All right, and so you have what is another third party that crosses path. I'll be right in, Satan. You have another third party that crosses path immediately after, for purposes of monitoring and stalking, but also hoping to distract from the license plate that I actually observed. This is the intentional conduct of demons. All of them are stalkers, okay? And this is ongoing P.O.C. at the Ovid Family Community Library. Just like you hear the state hovering in commercial airline planes, and I'm showing you what is surveillance while these demons, they don't read, they're not in here studying. They're in directed light. They're in the state's environment where it's hovering in commercial airline planes, and they are in here engaging in surveillance, chasing into bathrooms, stalking all around with noise, psychopaths, okay? And this is P.O.C. at Ovid Family Community Library. It is currently now 10:01 a.m. P.O.C. Alrighty, it is 10:03 a.m. capturing what is, first of all, stalking in the path. So this third party, as I take pictures and enter in, as I finish recording on my podcast and I'm walking, as I complete recording, that's an operation on my communication device, meaning I press save, I name it, whatnot. So I'm in operation on my communication device. I'm explaining this because this is stalking with activity that demons engage in. And this third party who I'm capturing images of, and who also has what is shadows moving around. The shadow activity is showing actually what is a very round object. It's not the shadow that is what would be when you're looking at casting of light, and the shadow that would be appearing on the ground. I've already shown you what is my shadow that literally paces. It appears in front, moves in front of my person, and it perpetually does that as you walk forward. This is occurring while he is walking in front of me. He uses the hand sanitizer dispenser as a means of stalking with activity as I'm in operation on my phone. This is engagement in surveillance with the people of the state who are maintaining presence on the side of the library, where the state amplifies all noises through the walls while they are stalking with noise. For example, hitting the tables, slamming bookcases, using even their voices, like this third party that's wearing the Lakers hat. He likes to laugh very loudly while he's stalking with audible activity. This is a psychopath. This is a demon, and they're engaging in loitering in relevant position together. This is documentation of what is presence. This is the state, all right? And is the same stalking conduct? You're talking about hovering, listening to everything that I do, stalking with noise as I do it, all right? Maintaining presence in an absolutely demented environment, and then you're talking about that same exact template follows you inside of the bathroom. That same exact psychopath, okay, is an obsessed stalker, stalking in every regard, following you into the bathroom. A violent sex offender, obsessed with what you are doing in the private space, even when you are not in operation of a communication device, which the criminal elements of monitoring is achieving monitoring. With the criminal elements of monitoring, light activity, relevant positioning, the government is engaging in what is demonic activity, which is accomplishing what is criminal, federal stalking, right? Stalking via interstate commerce. They're monitoring with communication devices. This is demonic activity, though it remains demonic activity, and that is where you have understanding what is a sex offender while they are stalking you in the bathroom, engaging in demonic activity, while they are stalking and monitoring while you're in jail, all right? Kidnapped by the same entity, engaging in demonic activity, all right? This is that same sex offender, that's the psychopath, all right? That's the stalker. All right, and that's what I'm capturing images of at 10:06 a.m., and this is the psychopath that is also monitoring the documentation, aware of everything that you are doing. While you are documenting a stalker that continues to show determination to continue stalking you, you're going to prosecute for that, okay? It is 10:06 a.m. P.O.C. Right, it is 12:14 p.m. and I am documented. I have captured in images what is the people engaged in surveillance where I remain in the library, and that's what is reflected in my images. It is the same entity maintaining presence. You're talking about through different faces. This is analogous to what is the systematic means of stalking by the people in traffic. The entity is maintaining presence. That is surveillance that I'm capturing as I read license plates. It's the same entity perpetually maintaining presence, engaging in the elements on a systematic basis. And that is the maintenance of presence by an entity that is not going anywhere. Okay, and this is the engagement in surveillance as I'm documenting that in images. in the library where demons are literally stalking with noise and maintaining what is the criminal elements of monitoring and engaging what is terrorism, as these demons stalk with noise and stalk in the presence, and they're not acting by themselves. They all have what is the amplification of audible activity. So while these psychopaths sit here, the state is amplifying plain activity. Okay, while a psychopath is in your face with their back to you. Well, that's the terrorism by the people of the state. That's the sex offender. That's the stalker. And that is the terrorism by the people whose criminal activity and whose demon possession is no longer a secret. You're showing what are psychopaths. Okay, it's 12:16 p.m. P.O.C. All right, 12:22 p.m. I want to document what is bathroom monitoring, and this is the sex offender, this is the predator, all right, and this is the reality of what are demon-possessed stalkers that surround. So as I get up from the computer area, and I'm at the Ovid Family Community Library, what you will see is an Asian male. He's about, I would say, about 5'10", 5'9", 5'10", short black hair, and he walks from the computer area to the men's restroom. What he's doing is he's maintaining presence as I get up from my desk and I walk in the direction of the bathroom. This is manning the path. And that is stalking and monitoring. And let me be clear, the demons are maintaining real-time knowledge altogether. So this is the reality of the sexual violence while I'm revealing what is their secret. Demons are engaging in invading your privacy, engaging in sexual violence, and you don't know that their condition is one of demon possession, first of all. And second of all, this is the government that is stalking all around you in the path, engaging in what is federal stalking in the private space. That's what's legally relevant. It is also relevant that these are demon-possessed actors. They're engaging in terrorism and following you into the bathroom. Getting into relevant position, because that's what that male is doing, that is relevant for what is federal stalking, and that is sexual violence. And also with knowledge of the fact that you are being documented, this is the entity's knowledge, that is also inflicting harm to the target individual who is aware of the fact and or suspecting, since they're documenting and the entity is monitoring that documentation, that the government is stalking, that strangers, all right, are stalking, all right, and that you're being monitored with communication devices. I just want to document that, and that will be seen on surveillance cameras as well. As I walk toward the bathroom, you have what is a man. He, an Asian male. He appears to be Asian male, and he is literally getting in the path going toward that restroom. And that's on surveillance cameras. And understand, the entity that listens to me document, you'll have what is the exit of the bathroom. Maintenance of presence in the path is there are demons that are acting as one. They are group stalkers that are acting as one on behalf of the state. Removal of one is, you can literally think of them as faceless, because you'll have what is presence in the path. It doesn't matter the specific name. It does for purposes of prosecuting the people, but understand this is acting through the government. So you can have one exit and another one be present. You can have one remaining in and have others patrol in and out. You're talking about maintenance of presence. So I just want to document that. It is currently 12:24 p.m. All right, it's currently 2:28 p.m. and I'm dealing with what are obsessed stalkers who are still in denial with regard to their demise. That is revealing what is demonic activity and using what is the example that the state of California has provided through targeting me, and doing so, revealing that you're talking about what is criminal amongst the demon possessed. And so I just captured an image of what is a demon, stalking with activity, and understand the reality. This is a demon who knows exactly what I'm doing as I'm doing it across the room. Not a coincidence of engaging, and again, it's also not a coincidence where you have the documented patterns of stalking, which is with light, which is with audible activity, the simultaneity. So this demon, and the race is irrelevant when you're understanding demonic activity, okay? You're looking at what is the pattern of conduct, the conduct. And you have what is the simultaneous creation of audible activity while you see you're pushing that cart. What's the demonic formula? Using that outward appearance, which you can, basically by the outward appearance, you can see how this demon is making noise, crashing around a bookshelf. In doing so with simultaneity to my opening up a new page, because I'm going to publish this on my website. You have what are demons that are surrounding around, pacing back and forth, and engineered light, absolute psychopaths, stalking, monitoring every step of their prosecution that they are literally monitoring. And that's what I took an image of, because you need to understand what they are engaging in. This is absolute terrorism while the government is engaging in this together. All right, this is the government that's surrounding. This is the legal context. And with regard to the terrorism, as this demonic conduct and these demonic actors surround, stalking you, focused on you, doing nothing else but that, okay? Also it's 2:29 p.m. and I'm still going to publish it, but I'm documenting because I'm also showing you what is demonic activity, all right? You're talking about what is malicious conduct, what is a psychopath, and what's a sex offender, because they're engaging in that same focus and stalking in the private space where the government has no business and where no stalker has no business, okay? It's P.O.C. All right, it is currently 3:02 p.m. now, and what I am also capturing images of, this is just the ongoing P.O.C, and I'm showing all the ways in which demons are stalking and engaging in desperate hovering stalking conduct, and it is terrorism as a people engages in this, and they are all stamped with the state is on their forehead. They might as well imprint it, brand it on their head. It's the state, and they're demented stalkers. All right, so what I took images of, first of all, is what you're literally looking at is a demon that's pacing. She's sitting, first of all, by herself, huddling in the corner, which I show you, which is called relevant positioning, present as I walk back toward this area on the side of the library that's stalking in the path, right? Focusing on her communication device, and then all of a sudden, as I begin taking more pictures of her because she is pacing, and remember, she's in directed light. I've shown you the light activity. This is a demon that is pacing back and forth, right? Just imagine the video game where you see the old school video game, where you have like Pac-Man, for example, hitting the wall, going back and forth, going back and forth, going back and forth. This is what this demon is doing. That's literally the objective of the demons in the engineered light, by the way. But for documentation, understand that's exactly what they do. That's exactly their raw form of showing a dangerous psychopath. Imagine everyone around you doing that, because that's exactly what they want to do. But for trying to maintain what is form, which doesn't exist anymore. I've already shown the pattern of conduct, and I'm also showing you what are demons, and they're also sexually violent sex offenders who don't have any form. Even as they try to act like they do, you're understanding the psychopath, okay? That is the very threat that is posed by people who are stalking you, and maliciously so. So anyway, this demon is pacing back and forth, and that's what I show you images of, and you're remembering the light activity and the audible activity that she's doing so in. And as I continue to capture images, then all of a sudden a kid just runs up next to her. Now, I'm going to make way, okay, for this could be her child, and let me let you know it has nothing to do with this little child. It's called a Mennonite, used to create activity. But aside from that, I just want to speak to what is the malice of psychopaths that are stalking and monitoring your documentation. You have what is all of a sudden she's sitting in the corner by herself, focused on her phone, and then begins pacing. The more I take pictures of her, then a kid just runs up to her and stands on the side of her, hiding its face as well. This kid knows and hides its face, and does engage in running back and forth, and just standing next to her. I want to break down what are demons. Okay, so the demonic activity, in the same way that a third party will drive up after another vehicle when the entity is literally listening to me observe a license plate, another one will drive by because they want to try to help me or cause me to forget that license plate and get it. This is intentional conduct. In the same way, this is analogous conduct. The psychopath that's monitoring your documentation, listening to your every syllable, listening to your very breathing pattern. Okay, you have what is a little kid that's used as a means of activity creation, first of all, but also with regard to the way that these psychopaths appear in the documentation. And it does not make you appear any more compassionate when I'm revealing what is the context. You can hold a child under the fake sun and in directed light while the state is flying over my head in helicopters. That is not a compassionate image, contrary to what is the intention behind that. You are actually witnessing what is malice of a very dangerous psychopath, all right, with the determination by virtue of engagement in that posing, because that's what it is, to appear other than what they are, which is a stalker, a third-party group stalker, with knowledge of everything you're documenting about their criminal conduct. The same entity, by the way, that is chasing you into the bathroom. Okay, so this is the purpose of that, and what I was saying with regard to making, I'm going to make leeway, because this, okay, I'm not going to say it's impossible that it's her child, but based on my ongoing knowledge and with regard and exposure to what are these stalkers who are of a condition mutually, it is indiscriminate demon possession. I want to end the way that the conduct of this child and the way that it's appearing all of a sudden. This is your little kid. Where was your little kid for the last 10 minutes? And then the kid runs up as I start documenting you, which is supposed to make this group stalker look different, if you will, and it doesn't. It does not. The same elements remain. It's actually very disturbing when you are understanding how the people of the state and the government include children in the pattern of conduct, and you are also understanding what is malice while you put a kid in that picture. All right, it's not funny. It's entirely pathetic. You understand why I laugh? Because it's pathetic. I laugh because I'm going to prosecute you with those very images. All right, and it is currently 3:06 p.m. And you have what is that stalker that is replaced with another one on a walker. Okay, same demon possession, same exact environment, same stalking with audible visible activity, and the same exact P.O.C. Okay, it's 3:06 p.m. at Ovid Family Community Library. All right, I want to make sure I document as early or as promptly as possible, rather, because it's relevant to surveillance cameras as well. So I'm subject to ongoing surveillance, and so the sex offender that is engaging in, paying very hovering close attention to everything I'm doing in the bathroom. And for purposes of prosecuting an entity, creating policy, it's important for me to illustrate what the entity is literally doing, what their conduct is revealing that they are doing, and what you necessarily know while you are doing that, which is a pattern. And then you are talking about what is that which is practiced identically amongst, a people and a government, all right? It's an unfathomable level of invasion of privacy and sexually violent conduct, all right? And so you have what is also terrorism, while the government is inexplicably, it's demon possession. I've let you know this, but this is otherwise inexplicable obsession with a person, a government, and interested in what you're doing in the bathroom as well, okay? And the bathroom is just illustrative of any private space where you're physically indisposed, where you're engaging in what would otherwise be your right to maintain privacy. The government has literally obliterated that, and the people of the state, in the shoes of the government, all right, also representing an entity in and of themselves. The people of the state are vicariously acting as an entity, and they are engaging in the same obliteration of your personal privacy, all right, your space, your right to not be burdened by freaks who are perverts, and engaging in real-time knowledge of everything you're doing as you spread your legs open. That's why I say it in that way, because that's exactly what is going on. And if I spread my legs open in a manner that is suspect, a demon immediately enters into the bathroom. That's what I want to document at 4:44 p.m. And so as I am engaging in personal activity, personal private activity, all right, which does not exist because the entity is monitoring, immediately enters in, which is purposes of relevant positioning and a communication device, and also literally Satan itself that is engaging in ominous stalking by entering into the domain of the private space, which federal legislation is designed to prosecute that predator that is then entering in while they are maintaining real-time knowledge of what you're doing outside of the door. So speaking to what is that simultaneous entrance, I'm talking about that as any suspect move, and that's exactly what happened at Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. It is an ongoing sex offense when the government is monitoring you. And this is showing how the people are a sex offender and how that sex offender is prosecuted while they are crossing paths outside on the street in relevant position. And when you are subject to that ongoing state system while you're inside of any venue and that same entity is stalking you in the bathroom, pursuant to real-time knowledge of what you're doing. While the demons are circling above the building in planes and helicopters and creating light activity all around based on your being in the bathroom, which everybody knows, okay? That's the sex offender that just entered inside of the bathroom right now. It's 4:44 p.m., which it's 4:47 right now, but I want to document and speak to the time because it's relevant to what is surveillance camera, and you're looking on camera at what are demons who are within their minds, which you can't see their thoughts, right? You only see their actions, and what these demons are doing physically, where they are positioning themselves, is with regard to where I am, what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Okay, right. So it's 4:47 p.m. This is P.O.C. The sex offender engaging in P.O.C. in the bathroom at 4:44 p.m. It is currently 7:01 p.m. and I did leave State Facilitating Venue, Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, where I remain subject to federal group stalking and monitoring in violation of Title 18, Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2. And that is where I remain for the most of the day, for the majority of the day, even before it opened. And you have the people of the state stalking literally nonstop from waiting for the venue to open to remaining inside of the venue to exit of the venue. And what I want to document is the people of the state that are, again, in no way escaping what is sexually violent criminal activity as they molest with engineered light while they are stalking as an entire group. It's entirely demented. And this is sexual violence that these demons want to touch with this instrument of criminal conduct while they're monitoring you. It's demonic activity that they practice. And the demonic activity is centered on not only maintaining presence all around you corporately, following you with, and by following, I mean, as far as sequence goes, like as you make a move, immediately noise is created, or as you make a move, immediately light activity you see in the atmosphere all around you, on the surface in front of you, or on your person. So I want to speak to what is sexual violence and the entity that engages in, for example, molesting me with directed light while I sit in the vehicle belonging to Tracy Banks. and then speeding off as though they're getting away with something, right? Because this is the conduct of an entity that is also monitoring the documentation. All right, so familiar with the fact that I am getting license plates. So you have, well, for example, she's driving straight, and the demon possessed are waiting at stoplights, waiting to make a turn in order to touch with light while they speed off in an opposite direction where I can't see that license plate, for example. And this is the mind frame of a short-sighted, defeated, and demon-possessed psychopath and sex offender that is in no way escaping prosecution. This, first of all, is the government that is molesting repeatedly through the demon-possessed who are vicariously present all around me. They are identified as the people of the state. And it is concerted activity with the demon who is driving the vehicle, subjecting and exposing me to that sexual harm, while she is indeed monitoring as well, monitoring to that sexual molestation as it's occurring, okay? And so I want to be clear, Tracy Banks engaged in a repeated molestation while the people of the state are maintaining presence around her car, stalking with every moment as she is driving to what is 630 North Fern, and I remain in the vehicle. The state engaging in what is ongoing terrorism in this regard as well, aiming directed light onto the venue of 325 West G Street, which is absolutely impossible light activity. It's the same P.O.C. In doing so on what is a surface. A surface is this venue, a facilitating venue, which is also the identification of what is a third party. Okay, so where the pattern of conduct is underway, I mean, this is what I'm saying with regard to the system and the elements. It is prosecuting itself when you understand, first of all, that this is demonic, okay? And second of all, the engagement in the elements is the identification of a participant, the identification of a facilitating location, which is referred to as a venue, okay? And so you have what is directed light on 325 while I'm sitting in the car while Tracy Banks is loitering in relevant position and in operation of her communication device while this directed light is appearing both inside of the car. She's a molester. She's a criminal. She's a psychopath, all right? And she is sexually molesting and touching me without any consent on behalf of the state, in concert with the state, with every other demon that's driving by and speeding off, okay? This demon I know, and her license plate is 4WON432, and she represents the people, and she is stalking while I'm in her car, while the state is maintaining an environment inside of her car, okay? It is currently 7:05 p.m., and that is the ongoing P.O.C. It is currently 7:24, so I just want to give an update. And this is with regard to what I am reminding you about when I am in front of a stalker, because that's exactly what they are. Actually, I'm in front of what are demons. When I'm facing a demon and I'm getting a close-up of this demon's face for purposes of identification, or for teaching purposes as well, recognizing the faces of Satan, right? And also for what is prosecution. Okay, so it's a means of documentation. And when I say that they're the same entity, that's exactly what I mean. That knows where I am sleeping, and they are one and the same. And this is why I want to, and what I documented this today, for example, for the duration of the day, are the same entity, the same stalker. Okay. At every single place that I went to, and getting the entity engaging in surveillance as I remained at the Ovid Family Community Library is the significance of that documentation. That same exact entity, all right, is stalking where I am sleeping now, where it very well knows where I am. And you have what is the state aiming directed light on the dashboard, moving across the inner console, across the driver's seat, and up on to and this is the inside of the car, on the inside of the driver's side door. This is rich white directed light. That also is occurring while the demons, who are the same entity whose faces you saw close up that I'm taking pictures of inside of the library, the same exact entity that's stalking at one venue is stalking at another place where it knows where I am, and the same directed light is present, and the state is aiming this directed light while they are stalking and crossing path in vehicles, okay? Monitoring what I'm doing on my phone. While the state is also, by the way, engaging in what is the same stalking activity via commercial airline planes, flying over the vehicle, which is at Fern Avenue, while this directed light and the people are stalking together. These are in fact demons, and those are the faces of demon-possessed stalkers who I continue to document and identify, and for purposes of prosecution. They are not separate from what is the terrorism that the government continues to engage in through the very people. All right. The people are one. The government is monitoring through that one group with many, many faces. And this is why, even if you document 10 names, all those 10 names are going to be prosecuted for the totality of that criminal act that the government did through them. And that's a perpetual sex offense. That is surveillance. That is federal stalking in a bathroom. entirely demented, sexually violent, and motivated, predatory, sexually motivated conduct, they're catching all of those federal charges together. All right. And I want to be clear. That's what I'm speaking to when I'm catching these demons and I'm getting a close up of their face, which they very well know. Not because I'm holding my camera up and I'm saying, say cheese. It's because they're monitoring the documentation and they're a stalker. They're monitoring with communication devices. That's how they know that I'm not just holding up my phone, looking at my screen. All right. They know that they're being documented while I'm capturing their images. And I want to document also Sean Thrasher, the violent sex offender, the one which is grounds of federal prison while he engaged in criminal summoning, and did so on more than one occasion before September 20th, 2021, by the way. Present today, communicating a threat, monitoring me in directed light, the same demon-possessed stalker, engaging in monitoring in the bathroom, stalking in the bathroom, and also engaging in what is this ongoing stalking. While I am here, I am, in other words, documenting the totality of that entity. Sean Thrasher's engagement in the criminal system, which is unprecedented, does not stop when he is clocking out of work at that facilitating venue of the Ovid Family Community Library. These are all the reasons why you do not want to be a part of what is the government monitoring American citizens, because that's how they're going to be prosecuted, because that's exactly what they're doing. All right. It is 7:27 p.m. Just speaking to the ongoing stalking of the people with the state. That is P.O.C.